Let's talk about something we all deal with every single day, the digital workplace. You know, that whole universe of apps and tools we're supposed to use. But are we actually using them to build something great? Or are we just getting lost in a sea of notifications?
So let me ask you this, and be honest. Think about all the tech you use at work. Does it all fit together perfectly, like a Swiss Army knife, where every single tool has a clear purpose and just works? Or, and this is probably more common, does it feel like a messy junk drawer, where you're just rummaging around, hoping to find the right thing?
And this isn't just a small personal frustration. This is a huge deal. The digital workplace market, it's projected to hit a massive $76.6 billion by 2027. That's how much money is being poured into trying to solve this puzzle. It really shows you how critical it is to get this right and how expensive it can be to get it wrong.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at the problem, that feeling of being overloaded. Then, we'll dive into what your ideal digital toolkit should look like. From there, we'll talk about how it's not just about the tools, but the skills to use them. Then we'll zoom out to the company-wide view. And finally, wrap it all up with how to actually build a smarter workplace.
All right, first things first, let's really dig into this challenge that I'm guessing a lot of us know all too well, the digital workplace overload.
You know, this is really the heart of the problem. When there's no clear strategy for all these digital tools, you just get chaos. Communication is all over the place, nobody knows which document is the latest version, and it's a total mystery who's supposed to be doing what. And look, these aren't just little annoyances. They're a real drag on productivity, and they can totally kill team morale.
So how in the world do we start to fix this? Well, it all starts with the very first layer, really understanding and organizing the tools that you and your team use every single day.
And this is the goal right here. We want to move away from that messy junk drawer and build what you could call a digital Swiss Army knife. It's this idea of having a hand-picked set of apps that are each built for a specific job, but they all work together seamlessly. So you can communicate, collaborate, and get stuff done without the tech getting in your way.
So what's in this toolkit? Well, you can break it down into a few key categories. You've got your communication hubs, like Slack or Teams, then your productivity tools, like Asana or Jira, to keep projects moving. Of course, there's collaboration suites like Google Workspace. You need knowledge bases, like Notion, to keep information organized. And then there are enterprise service management platforms. Think of that as your modern, streamlined IT help desk. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Having the coolest Swiss Army knife on the planet is useless if you don't actually know how to open the corkscrew, right? So let's move on to the next layer, turning all those fancy tools into actual skills.
Building up these digital skills isn't just some nice-to-have extra credit. No, it's absolutely essential. This is what makes you efficient instead of just busy. It's what allows your team to stay connected and work together, no matter where they are. And it's what helps prevent those really frustrating, costly mistakes that can grind everything to a halt.
Okay, let's get practical. Core skill number 1, using messaging apps effectively. I'm talking about writing clear, concise messages so people know what you need. And please, for the love of all that is productive, use channels. When you organize conversations by topic or project, you make life easier for everyone.
Skill number 2, learning how to manage tasks like a pro. That huge project on your plate? Don't let it overwhelm you. Break it down into smaller, bite-sized steps. Give each step a clear deadline. And use visual tools, like a Kanban board, so you can actually see the progress. It's a total game changer for staying on track.
And the third critical skill, sharing documents the smart way. We have got to end the cycle of emailing attachments with names like final report _ v4 _ really final .doc. Just stop. Use cloud storage, share a link to the live document, and that way you can be sure everyone is always literally on the same page.
Okay, so we've got the right tools and we're building the right skills to use them. Now, let's zoom out to that final, really crucial layer, the big picture view from the organization's perspective.
This quote from the National Skills Coalition just hits the nail on the head. When a whole company has a digital skills gap, it's not loud and obvious. It's an invisible drag. It's this quiet, constant force that just slows everything down, hurting not just the business's bottom line, but the employees too.
And how big is this problem? Well, check this out. Nearly 1 in 3 workers in the US, that's 31%, have few or no real digital skills. Let that sink in. This isn't some niche issue affecting a few people. It's a massive challenge across the entire economy.
So it's really important to think about two different kinds of skills. First, there's foundational digital literacy. That's just the basic comfort with technology that pretty much everyone needs for any job today. But then there's occupational digital literacy. These are the super specific skills you need for your particular field. Like using specialized software for engineering or marketing. You need both to really thrive.
And of course, you can't have a conversation about the modern workplace without talking about security. Every single person has a part to play here. We're talking about securing your home Wi-Fi network, seriously, use strong passwords, being super careful about suspicious emails, sticking to the rules about company data, and maybe most importantly, if you see something weird, report it immediately.
All right, so we've looked at the problem, the tools, the skills, and the big picture strategy. Now let's bring it all home and talk about what it actually takes to build a smarter, better digital workplace.
When you strip it all down, it really comes back to these three essentials. If you can nail effective, organized communication, combine that with a clear, step-by-step approach to managing tasks, and then top it off with smart, cloud-based collaboration, you've created a place where amazing work can actually get done.
So what can you do, like right now? Here's your call to action. Don't try to change everything at once. Just pick one app you already use and spend a little time exploring its features. Try out one new skill this week. And then, and this is key, share what you've learned with your teammates. These small, steady steps are what create real change.
And that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. As you think about your own work habits and your team's process, what is the one small change you could make that would start turning that digital junk drawer into a powerful Swiss Army knife, starting tomorrow?